Good afternoon, wrestling faithful. This is the Turnbuckle, your place for everything wrestling. I'm your host, Tammy Young, and we have plenty of news lined up for you tonight, so let's get to it. First up, we have the rundown of this week's Turmoil match card. This week's card is stacked from top to bottom, with rivalries heating up, newcomers trying to break through, and veterans fighting to keep their ground. Let's run down the official lineup. Anthony Martin versus Quartz. The Lobby versus BB3 and Ike Udoka. Luis Bishop versus Paul Harris. Serena La Diosa versus Pearl. Jubei Giroda versus Sheldon Tremblay. The Clark Effect with Alexander Bolek. And last but not least, North American champion H2O will face off against Samuel Omen in the main event for the North American Championship. It all goes down this week on Turmoil, and we'll have full coverage here on the Turnbuckle. Speaking of matchups, we already have one matchup announced with record-setting former women's champion Deborah Soto facing off against the Digital Dime of DNS Pearl at this year's anniversary show. Does Pearl have what it takes to Control-Alt-Delete what was once OCW's dominant women's champion? Or will Deborah Soto show Pearl her digital demise? These two have been going at it for months now, and we are finally locked in for an official showdown with OCW's 21st anniversary show approaching quickly. We are expecting to hear more matches announced soon. Now, for a major story, OCW owner and CEO Mr. Sensation is officially scheduled to address several pressing issues next week on Riot. While details remain tightly guarded, sources inside the company say the boss is preparing to speak on a series of escalating problems, both behind the curtain and on screen. From Devin Flash's recent chaos to tensions with returning veterans to the state of CCW's championship picture, it seems Mr. Sensation has plenty to get off his chest. This will mark his first live statement in weeks. And if history tells us anything, Mr. Sensation rarely steps in front of a microphone unless something major is brewing. Wrestlers backstage are already buzzing, with some expecting disciplinary announcements, and others bracing for a bombshell. Whatever he has to say, the entire OCW locker room and fan base will be watching closely. We'll keep you updated as this story develops. For some breaking news, the heart of OCW. The multi-time world champion, Hall of Famer, and walking pillar of the company, Nate Ortiz, is scheduled to make a major announcement at the upcoming OCW 21st anniversary show. Sources inside the company are calling this the most important Ortiz segment in a decade. Officials are treating the announcement with the same weight as a title match. Security has been briefed, production has been instructed to treat it like a main event, and multiple veterans have been asked to be present backstage. Nate Ortiz has long been considered the spiritual backbone of OCW. From the War Games years to the Sensation administration era, Ortiz's influence has never wavered. But after several injuries, sporadic appearances, and a noticeable shift in his in-ring frequency, fans and insiders alike have begun to wonder if this moment is the final moment. Whatever Ortiz plans to say, OCW is preparing for impact. But wait, while on the subject of Nate Ortiz, we shift gears to something a little more celebratory. As one of OCW's most decorated legends, Nate Ortiz is celebrating a major milestone, his 45th birthday. Nate Ortiz, known to fans as The Franchise, spent the day surrounded by close friends, former rivals, and a flood of messages from stars across the industry. Social media lit up early this morning as wrestlers past and present shared stories, tributes, and a few humorous jabs at the future Hall of Famer. Despite stepping back from full-time competition, Ortiz remains an influential presence behind the scenes, mentoring talent, popping up for surprise appearances, and reminding everyone why his legacy is etched into OCW history. Whether he's in the ring, in the office, or simply offering that iconic Ortiz smirk, the impact he's made on this business remains undeniable. From all of us here at the Turnbuckle, happy 45th birthday, Nate Ortiz. While we are on the subject of Nate Ortiz, We have an update on the condition of record-breaking former CCW champion and OCW Hall of Famer Adam Helmsing, aka B17, who is currently continuing his recovery after suffering a broken jaw, which was sustained during a violent confrontation with OCW legend and Hall of Famer Nate Ortiz, and along with CCW champion Kamiko Sensation, following this year's Wrestlelusion main event against Kamiko Sensation and Quartz. Medical staff say B17 is healing on schedule, but he remains several weeks away from being cleared for any in-ring activity. Sources close to B17 describe him as furious, frustrated, and laser-focused. Reportedly, he has placed full blame on Nate Ortiz for the injury, telling those around him that Nate took things too far, and that there will be consequences once he's cleared to return. The OCW front office is said to be monitoring the situation closely, knowing that tensions between these two legends have reached a boiling point. With B17 unable to speak fully during his recovery, the silence is only amplifying the anticipation for what he'll have to say and do once he's back. While we are on the subject of injuries, 5-year OCW veteran John Carter has officially been sidelined following a vicious sledgehammer attack orchestrated by his longtime rival Elliot Parker. The assault left John Carter with a fractured rib, confirmed by medical staff backstage. Incredibly, despite being checked by doctors as Sheldon was making his entrance, John Carter was strongly advised not to compete. But in true John Carter fashion, he ignored the medical warnings and stepped into the ring anyway. The injury proved too severe to overcome, and John Carter was defeated by Sheldon in just 46 seconds, now one of the shortest matches in Riot history. Adding even more fuel to the story, all promotional material and advertisements featuring John Carter for next week's Turmoil have been quietly pulled, suggesting he will not be medically cleared in time. We reached out to John Carter moments ago for comment, and he sent the following message. "I'm sorry to everyone watching Riot that I couldn't continue. I'll be back in that ring as soon as possible." John Carter also made his intentions very clear. He's targeting a return by anniversary, less than a month away, with one goal in mind: revenge on Elliot Parker for the brutal attack that put him on the shelf. We'll continue to monitor John Carter's recovery and bring you updates as this story unfolds. That wraps up things with our injury updates, but for a more emotional moment to share from the locker room, Clickbait and Bay bid farewell to their longtime tag partner, Bebe, as he prepares to leave OCW for college. Sources say the trio shared a heartfelt backstage moment after last night's show, reflecting on their journey together in OCW, from wild tag team matches to unforgettable fan moments. Bebe reportedly thanked his teammates, the fans, and the OCW family for their support, promising to stay connected even as he steps away to focus on his studies. Fans and colleagues alike are expressing their admiration and sadness, acknowledging that while Bebe's in-ring presence will be missed, his legacy with Clickbait Bebe and the OCW roster will not be forgotten. While Bebe heads off to new adventures outside the ring, Clickbait promises the team and the fans that OCW action will continue at full speed. From all of us here at the Turnbuckle, we wish Bebe the very best in this next chapter. Speaking of emotional, we received word on a backstage mystery unfolding on Riot. Sources are reporting that Riot GM Tiberius Octavian Dupree returned to his office after a short maple break yesterday, only to discover his beloved Steam Deck shattered into pieces across his desk. Staff members described the scene as chaotic, with fragments scattered across Dupree's desk, chair, and even the doorway, as if someone wanted to make sure the message wasn't missed. Dupree, known for his usually calm and stylish demeanor, was said to be visibly furious, immediately launching an internal investigation. At this time, no suspects have been identified, though speculation is already running wild. Some believe it's a frustrated wrestler trying to send a warning. Others think it may be tied to Dupree's recent rulings on Riot, which haven't made him the most popular authority figure backstage. One thing's for sure, a line has been crossed, and Dupree won't let this go lightly. We'll keep you updated as more details emerge. And for our last story of the day, A fractured alliance at Animal House has quickly spiraled, adding to one of the most personal and venomous rivalries in OCW today, as OCW World Women's Champion Marissa Welch continues her calculated psychological warfare against Cheryl Styx. Just last Friday on Riot, Welch attempted what she called an apology to Styx, a week following their tag team match where Styx absorbed the pinfall against Deborah Soto and Junko Giroda, a result Welch seemed more than unhappy was facilitated. However, after Welch's public berating of Styx at the charity event post said match, Cheryl was in no mood for reconciliation, delivering a fiery retort in front of the Manhattan audience that left no doubt about her feelings. But Marissa Welch, ever the puppet master, had another cruel twist planned. In a truly shocking moment, she brought out Cheryl's twin brother, former OCW superstar Danny Boyd. Many of you will remember Danny's last televised appearance, suffering a brutal attack orchestrated by Pearl and Samuel Oman just this past August. Seeing him back, seemingly in good health, the MSG crowd anticipated Danny would step in to defend his sister. Instead, in a move that stunned everyone, Danny Boyd shockingly sided with Marissa Welch. He unleashed an unexpected and scathing verbal assault on his own twin sister, leaving Cheryl visibly distraught and fleeing the arena in tears, as Marissa Welch reveled in her vindictive triumph. This betrayal has undeniably escalated an already intense rivalry to an unprecedented personal level. And the drama continues to unfold. We're just receiving word that Marissa Welch has promised another introduction for next Turmoil, an announcement she claims will end Cheryl for good. There's been no official word on Cheryl Styx's state of mind following this devastating turn of events. It appears this vicious saga is rapidly approaching its climax, and we'll be watching every moment. And on that note, that about wraps up this week's episode of The Turnbuckle. For more news, rumors, and reports, check out OCWFED.com, where you can get more information like this, as well as get caught up on any matches and premium live events. I've been your host, Tammy Young. This has been The Turnbuckle, and until next time, tuck your head and get ready to sell the fin.